G'day, it's Heath here from pickinglessons.com. The Connaughtman's Rambles. This is a great tune to pick on the mando. Key of D, or a jig, so 6/8 time. In a moment we're going to take a look at part A of the tune here together. If you head to pickinglessons.com, you're able to grab yourself a copy of the tablature that we're working through, plus in the members section you'll find part B of this lesson as well, so pickinglessons.com. Let's start out with this slow playthrough of part A of the arrangement, and then we'll break it down and work through some of the techniques we really need to focus on. 1 and 2 and... Okay, so part A, we're in the key of D, so we're really focusing in on these D major scale notes that we find in this open position here. Fingering choice is pretty standard for the left hand. It is marked in the music as well if you need it. The right hand, now this is something we need to work on just very quickly, and we'll work on it as we move on through. But basically, as a 6/8 time jig, we want our right hand for this melody to emphasize the pulse. And 6/8 time has 2 pulses to the measure. And we're separating that into 6/8 notes pretty much all the way through the tune. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And our picking hand is going to follow this pattern. Down, up, down, wherever the melody notes move. The reason for that is we're emphasizing each pulse that way. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. So if you haven't played many jigs, sit there and just get used to that idea of the right hand going down, up, down, up, down. And the tricky part is the 2 downs we capture in the middle and moving on from one measure to the next. So we end up with a couple of downstrokes together. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And that's what makes it challenging, but it gives us our pulse. So that's a nice way of trying to play the rhythm as well. So D, G, D and a B minor there for the first 4 measures. So that works really well for our rhythm as well, but we do find that for the melody. So a quick example, first couple of measures. Notice that my picking hand was down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and so on. That's going to be consistent all the way through. So that's really the first thing you need to make sure you're working on and trying to keep as consistent as you can. We do have some great little variation of the melody, some different ornamentation we capture in there as well. In the first measure, we have this grace note slide. In some of the other measures, we have a grace note pull off. And we really combine those 2 through the tune. They're the ones we're focusing on for this particular tune. So, first measure. Firstly, picking hand, remember, down, up, down, up, down. Right hand. Now, for the slur that we're playing there, so that grace note slide, we really want to make sure that when we start on fret 4, we're basically launching into fret 5 straight away. So starting on fret 4 with finger 3, and you'll slide straight into fret 5, kind of as you, well, just after you pick, because we want to hear the slide. We don't really want to hear the 4 though. So it's not a 2 separate note sound, it's a slide into fret 5. And that's the grace note, and that's kind of what we want to hear there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So count 4, we're launching into that 5th fret from the 4th. Just keep repeating it. Picking hand, down, up, down, up, down. So that grace note slide, it just gives it a little bit of a flair on that particular note. We could take it out and just play fret 5 with it. It just changes the character of that sound. So that's something we're using a little bit through this tune. The second measure moving through, third measure is pretty easy. Let's look at those 2 together. So measure 2. And measure 3. And again, just a reminder, picking hand. Keep an eye on that. Down, up, down, all the way through. The 4th measure here, the 4th measure has another grace note in there that we want to work on. So this is the pull off. This one features throughout the tune as well. This one we have this quick pull off, and in this case from that 4th fret C sharp to the B note there on fret 2. And like the grace note slide, the grace note pull off needs to be really quick. As we trigger the movement, as we trigger our picking hand, the finger is going to flick straight away afterwards. So there is no 2-note sound. It's not like this. We don't have fret 4, fret 2. It's starting on fret 4 straight into fret 2. So it's kind of like just after you pick, you got to flick that finger. And it gives us a really interesting sound. So we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Without the grace note would be, with the grace note. So kind of picking up on some fiddle and even bagpipe kind of sounds, just those quick little slurs that we want to throw in. And it does really create a different layer to the tune. So I'll play the first 4 measures without those grace notes just for a moment. Which is absolutely fine. That's where the melody's moving. Now with the 2 grace notes in. Sounds great. Adds another layer to it, adds a little bit of flair to the playing and variation to the melody. Works really well. Moving on to measure 5 and measure 6, we have the same sort of idea. But the melody moves up. Just keep an eye on that picking hand. And the 2 measures before our repeat. Again, just right hand down, up, down, down, up, down. And then the measure 8. That same measure as measure 4 actually, with that grace note pull off. So again, you can take those slides and pull offs out, would be okay. So you take out the quicker of the notes, the first of the notes, but do work on them. So the slide, getting that sound straight to fret 5, but sliding from fret 4, and then the pull off version was fret 4 to fret 2. So fret 2 is a fundamental note, fret 4 is our starting point to give us that quick little grace note slur sound. Okay, so pickandlessons.com, you better grab yourself a copy of this chart that we've been working through, but in the member section there, we will continue this lesson, plus there's a whole lot of other content and tunes and great lessons in there as well. So pickandlessons.com, I'll see you there.